Welcome to the SAPinsight tip, adding other objects to your favorites menu. These other objects are objects that are non-SAP objects, such as URLs to websites or even paths to files that you frequently use when you're working in SAP. So from the main menu, now you'll have to be at the main menu when you execute this function, and that's the only time you see your favorites menu. I'll go to the favorites menu option from the top menu bar, and the option I'll select is add other objects. And here we get a dialog box. Now, when you're working on your SAP system, you might get different options on this pop-up box, or the pop-up box may even look different than this. If so, what you're looking for is one of the entries that says web address or file. If you find that one, go ahead and select that one and click on the green check or continue button. You'll get a pop-up window, and it's a dialog box that asks you for some information. The text that you enter will be the text that will appear beside your object in your favorites folder. So that's what you'll see it as when you get into your favorites folder. The web address or file is actually the URL for the website that you want to go to, or the location and file name of the file that you want to access. So the first one I'm going to add will be a URL. It's going to be SAP's home site. And I'll type in the URL, www.sap.com. Now you notice there is a continuation line. That continuation line is for cases where your URL or your file name and path are longer than the web address or file line. You'll have to continue that path and file name or URL on the continuation line. You'll actually have to enter it down there too. So this dialog box is not so smart in that it doesn't wrap that around, but it is what it is. So we'll now click on the continue button. And you notice I have a URL added to my favorites, and it's called SAP's home site, which is the text that I entered in there. And I can double click on that URL, and it will launch SAP's home page. Now, once it launches SAP's home page, you're completely in your browser window, and it's your default browser, and you're not associated with SAP at that point while you're in your browser window. So I can go ahead and close that browser window. And I'll go back over to SAP, and this time I'll add a link to a favorite file that I typically work in. Maybe it's one of your daily files that you work in while you're working in SAP. So again, that's favorites, add other objects, and we'll select the same object, which is web address or file, and we'll click on the continue button. Same dialog box, in this case, my daily spreadsheet. Now I'll click into the web address or file, and notice I have a match code button. I'll click on the match code button, and that will allow me to search through my hard drive or a network drive to find a spreadsheet that I'm looking for. So I'll go to this first spreadsheet, double click on it, and it'll bring my path in. Click on the continue button. And now it lists the URL, but it lists the text that I entered, my daily spreadsheet, and notice that it gives me an Excel icon so I can easily notice which type of files that I have loaded in my favorites. And as with all other favorites, you can move these objects around in your favorites folder by dragging and dropping them into particular folders or locations in your favorite folder. Now, when I double click on that URL, it's going to take me to that file, and it's going to take me to that file in the application. So in this case, I am in the application Excel, and I have my file up. I can go and edit my file and save my file, no problems. It's not associated with SAP at that point. It's just associated with the application, either there on your local computer or on your network. That's your tip for adding other objects, non-SAP objects, to your favorites menu, and hope this provides you some value in your work with SAP. Have a great day.